Sight Unseen Movie Reviews. Movies suck. We'll review them so you won't have to watch them. And neither will we. Kind of Sucks, decent but worse than the guy's version, perfectly average action movie, and mildly cute but not memorable. I'm going to give myself 4 hits for last month. Or runs. Or points. I guess I haven't really settled on a scoring system yet. The only strikeout, fumble, penalty, or fail was Jurassic World, which I thought might actually be above average. It's the only one I saw, and it didn't make it that high. Critics and audiences agree, despite a surprise appearance by Rose Tico. This charmless women's studies major did not make it into the trailer, although she features prominently in the movie. Why? Because Hollywood is better at making trailers than it is at making movies. Hold that thought for later. July is here, and that's vacation month, so we're going to go right into August. We made it through June, which means we're 1 month closer to that bright, shiny tomorrow when the movie industry gets revitalized and starts making good movies again. In the meantime, let's see what they think we want to watch this month. Kin is a science fiction flick by 2 newcomers, brothers Jonathan and Josh Baker. They've never done a feature-length film and only have 3 shorts on their resume, so we've got a challenge for our crystal ball right off the bat. Are they doomed to failure, or are they the next great sibling cinema team, like the Coen brothers, or the Wachowski gender non-binaries? Right now, only the trailer can tell us, and this is what it tells me. They spent a large fraction of their budget, such as it was, on special effects while skimping on camera and lighting equipment. A lot of these shots look ordinary. I'm also unimpressed by many of the actors' performances.
You know that you're important to me. I know I'm not a good guy. But it's been pretty incredible to be brothers for the first time.
He's gonna figure it out eventually. I hope you're ready for that.
Not bad, but just as ordinary as the photography. Nothing here really catches the eye or the ear. And if nothing jumps out at you, you can usually count on the trailer being better than the movie. If you're still having doubts, consider that James Franco wandered onto the set during filming. It's not first-rate perfume that attracts flies. This one probably won't quite suck, but it's not likely to amount to much. You don't see it often, but every once in a while Hollywood likes to go back to prehistory and give us an adventure story. I've never found any of them compelling because the characters all tend to get treated as standard-issue, superstitious tribal brutes, and the only story seems to be an overland trek adventure through an ice age. But let's see what we have in store this time. The screenwriter is a first-timer, so no help there, but the director is worth noting. Some people only have one story in them, and it comes out as their first novel or their first movie, and they spend the rest of their careers making inferior works. So far, Albert Hughes is on that trajectory. However, his movies are always respectable, if not exceptional, and if a competent director is given a good script, he can surprise you. The movie has some really nice cinematography. A lot of effort and a lot of money is being put into this. And I see hints that at least some of the Cro-Magnon are individualized. The story looks like it might be just a little too precious, but kids aren't going to mind that, and it's a flaw most adults will forgive if there's enough value elsewhere. This one will probably be passably decent, even mildly entertaining. There are 2 horror movies coming out in July, and they both have some creepy imagery. That's not all that hard to do, though. Let's see if they are going to amount to anything other than cheap scares for an evening.
2 suspensions, a misdemeanor arrest, and a still pending arson charge.
Dr. Sinclair represents a school. Actually, it's more of an academy where girls like you could have gone on to do incredible things.
Welcome to Blackwood. The consequences of your actions have brought each of you here. It's an alternative to prison. Miss Orlonsky will be collecting your cell phones.
That's not fair. Is this a joke?
Your choices have been yours, and yours alone.
Okay, so it's teeny boppers with attitude problems.
You a creeper or something?
No, I was just staring in some bitches' rooms.
Do you 2 mind keeping it down? Some of us are trying to hate this place in peace.
That's the kind of dialogue we give to teeny boppers in their movies. I don't know if they like it, and they certainly don't speak that way themselves, but that's what we give them. Children's movies can be wonderful because they're made to awe children and entertain adults as well. But movies targeted at teeny boppers appeal to no one but teeny boppers. Probably because teeny boppers spend half their waking hours scheming to get away from their parents, and the movie makers realize few rational individuals will be in the movie theater. So forget about the pillars of good storytelling, it's snark and cynicism. Nevertheless, I have seen worse prospects. The writer isn't noteworthy, but the director has delivered a couple solid movies, even if his last one was a dud. And there is some good imagery here.
There was something in the hallway.
I don't think it's the house.
Veronica?
That image is excellent. Truly. However, the jump scares all seem to be predictable, fast, and rely on scary makeup. Jump scares are a perfectly acceptable trope in a horror movie, but they're easy and become formulaic when filmmakers lean on them like crutches. Even if the director gives us his best stuff, I don't think he's going to make a classic out of this one, although it doesn't look to be a disaster. Just don't go to see it on opening weekend unless you like newly minted semi-adults giggling, flirting, and farting in the seats around you. The second horror film has some undeniably terrifying images.
Like a virus.
Good atmosphere. But anyone who has seen The Grudge knows a movie can be scary but fail as a story. The trailer doesn't really give us any sense of the plot. The Slender Man is out there scaring people, mainly in forests. That's about it. The writer has been around a while and has a penchant for dark stories, but no real successes yet. The director has a similarly unspectacular record at the cinema and has been doing exclusively television for the last few years, possibly in atonement. I think this one will have its tense moments and might even make you pee your pants once or twice, but it's not going to come together well as a movie. The Spy Who Dumped Me, a comedy with a dash of action story like Spaceballs or The Naked Gun. Except...
It's a stick. Do you know how to drive a stick? I'm so sorry. It's an emergency. Oh my God. Do you know how to change a gear? What's a gear? Okay. Get out. It wasn't so bad.
I ask a question. If I don't like answer,
Oh my God! Oh.
you feel pain.
I'll tell you anything you want to know. I've never kept a secret in my life. Audrey shaves between her boobs.
Morgan flosses with her hair.
She has sex dreams about minions.
Just the one minion with the one eye.
She Googled it on my computer, and now I get a lot of weird ads.
The humor looks to be mainly ad-libbed. I realize that most movies have their extemporaneous elements. Who can forget...
I love you.
I know.
But on the ad-libbed scale, with Quentin Tarantino on one end and improv comedy on the other, this one looks to be leaning heavily towards the improv comedy. Those kinds of movies can usually cobble together a handful of chuckles for the trailer, but have you ever seen a truly good comedy that was just a bunch of ad-libbing? I'm not talking about Bill Murray in Ghostbusters, I'm talking about the most recent Ghostbusters, where the actors would sit in front of a camera for 2 hours just ad-libbing, and the editor would select 30 to 60 seconds to use in the movie. Because that's the kind of impression this trailer is giving me. But we also see some hints of two fish-out-of-water characters who managed to grow into their roles by the end of the movie.
We just want to talk about your boyfriend.
But he dumped me.
Drew was CIA.
I'm sorry, what?
Some bad people are after me. Now they're after you.
High five up here.
It's a flash drive. You have to swallow it before they come back.
There is no turning back for us.
We're semi-professionals at this point. Professional. We are professional.
If it's plotted and paced well, it could turn out alright. The writer has written only for television, although he's been involved with some high-profile programs like Mad Men and Saturday Night Live. But the director is doing only her second movie, and the first one was not well received. In the best-case scenario, it turns out like a funny thing happened on the way to the forum, with a clever plot, perfect pacing, and a satisfying climax. But I don't see that kind of talent at work behind the camera, and I'm not sold on the two ad-libbers. This might be a bit of fun if you're in the right mood, but I think it's going to get mediocre grades.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, sweetheart. Where are you?
Study group. Gonna go all night.
Oh, one more thing. I want to
Bye,
know
Dad.
about the final you took today.
I'm Margot.
911, what's your emergency?
I'm calling to report a missing person.
Okay, who is this regarding?
My daughter.
1. After a study session, Margot didn't return home.
Margot Kim. School has her marked as absent today.
2. She didn't attend school on Friday.
My daughter is in a lesson with you right now?
Margot canceled her classes 6 months ago.
And 3. She's been transferring funds for the last 6 months. We'll handle the ground investigation, but as a parent, you can help us with who your daughter talks to. Is that something you can do?
Yes.
You don't think she's involved with anything serious?
I know my daughter.
We're not really that close.
She has friends, right?
Kind of.
Why did you invite her to study group?
I'm trying to get into Berkeley next year.
I didn't know her. I didn't know my daughter.
This one's got a good feel to it. They're onto a good idea, playing off the insecurities of parents in the age of social media, and there's no indication they ruin it in the end with some chase over skyscraper roofs while helicopters shoot missiles at them. This looks restrained and well put together. The writer-director has done nothing but shorts up till now, but this one's worth recommending for the trailer alone. Plus, the director already has another movie in pre-production, which means someone was impressed with Searching. Is it cheating if I look at that? Doesn't matter. This is a pretty solid movie worth seeing in theaters. The judicious use of restraint is fundamental to making a movie with an appropriate tone. For a movie like Searching, that means exercising restraint from opening to closing credits. For a movie like The Meg, however, you have to eventually let go. The Meg is about Megalodon, which is officially the scariest animal that nature ever evolved. The fact that it went extinct 1 million or so years ago is proof that God loves us. But Jason Statham is starring, not Roy Scheider. This is not going to be Jaws. It's not even going to be playing on the same playground. The writers have some experience with feature-length films, and so does the director. Nobody here has done anything that redeems the human race, but the director has managed occasionally to make a silly, competent action film, which is what The Meg had better be if it wants to entertain anybody.
What's that?
There's a monster outside.
Subdued beginning, with a tease of the terror to come.
Bigger than we ever thought possible.
How big is that thing?
It was the largest shark that ever existed.
A living fossil.
Thought to have been extinct for over 2 million years.
Wrong.
Statham's run-in with Megalodon makes him a prized candidate to join the team to find it.
My God. It's Megalodon.
The first run-in with Megalodon in the present day, still restrained. And then they let loose.
That thing's out there. We need to find it and kill it.
Why don't you just put a tracker on it? Did you guys ever watch Shark Week?
He looks heroic, but he's kind of got a negative attitude. Chew on this, you ugly.
There's some silly humor, a charismatic action star, and that choice of music in the trailer was inspired. It even has a cheeky little title. But trailer makers usually do a better job than movie makers. I know it's easier to make a trailer than a feature film, but it's still a matter of following some basic rules. I feel like so many movies nowadays would be so much better if they stuck to the rules. Unless you're trying to make the next Vertigo, just stick to the rules. The trailer is superb. If it used the Sinatra song because it drew inspiration from the tone of the movie, I gotta be honest, this might be a lot of fun. We're not looking at great art, and it's not trying to be. I think it's going to try to do what Deep Blue Sea did, but without the depressing Alzheimer's suicide plot. Sorry, spoilers. I don't expect The Meg to get a lot of good reviews, but I have a feeling it's going to be some fun on opening weekend. Just go drunk. For Mile 22, we have a director with a consistent resume of low-grade action movies, and the writers can't change that. The trailer does give us the outline of a plot, but be honest, you don't care. This is going to be brainless action. Mark Wahlberg can be fun to watch, though, and I really like John Malkovich. I especially liked him in... Oh, Ronda Rousey's in it? Yeah, this is going to be below average. Our last movie is brought to us by Brian Miller, a director who has helmed several movies, only one of which is rated higher than a 5 on IMDb. We don't need to look at anything else, this movie is going to suck. All you need to do is look at this shot right here to know we're dealing with a director with no real sense of blocking or artistic vision. But check out the trailer.
Saw it on the news.
I just keep seeing it over and over again.
Break it down for me.
He was violent and tactical gear head to toe. He had index cards. He was in, he was out.
If you ever want to talk, I'll be here for you.
Are you okay?
I should have done something.
If you had done something, you wouldn't be here right now.
We're hoping you can help us here, Mr. Tasker.
This guy knew your facility inside out. The exact location of that locker.
You can't even make a move until the feds clear me.
He reached out to you at all?
Not since the robbery.
You just wanted to clear your name.
Yeah, of course.
I need you back.
It's the same guy for each one of these things.
3 quick heists. He's following a pattern.
This is the guy.
We're gonna have to fix this.
This guy's following an armored car.
Stay armed. Open the door!
Who is this?
I remember you from the bank.
You call the police, and your wife and daughter will suffer before they die.
He's in my house, man. You gotta get over there.
Christina? Sophia?
Put the shotgun on the table.
You want to talk with somebody? Talk to me. Got a holster behind my back.
You can just give me a gun?
I just gave you 20.
Admittedly, it's not going to fool anyone, but didn't the trailer give you some glimmer of hope that the story might be good? Compared to how awful this movie is going to be, the trailer isn't half bad, and it's just a matter of following some simple rules. I acknowledged earlier that a trailer is easier to do than a feature film, but look at what the trailer does. It lets us begin to know the characters, it paints a picture of the movie's world, then it takes us through some obstacles, shows us a couple moments where the stakes are raised, and points towards the resolution. With the right pacing, this is exactly what a trailer should do. Directors are like scientists. Most of them are technicians of varying competence, and a rare few are brilliant geniuses. Every so often, an Isaac Newton comes around and changes the landscape. But most of the time, science is a matter of working within a system of established rules to extend our knowledge of life, the universe, and everything. Likewise, sometimes a Stanley Kubrick or Orson Welles or Alfred Hitchcock comes along and revolutionizes things. But mostly, directing is about making solid movies that really engage us, and that's just a matter of letting us get to know the characters, painting a picture of the movie's world, taking us through some obstacles, raising the stakes a few times, and carrying us through to the resolution. With the right pacing and a little technical flair, every movie can be as good as its trailer. Oh, hi Bruce. Didn't expect to see you here. I saw Die Hard last night. Remember Die Hard? Anyway, that's all for August. See you in September.